Finding a property for under $500,000 feels almost impossible. And depending on what city you live in, it can really feel like it's never going to happen. And while in a few areas it might be impossible to find a $500,000 property, it's not impossible everywhere. In this episode, my dad's going to unpack a simple search tip to help us all understand how to find areas with below $500,000 properties. My name is Nicola Kefalianos and this is my first home buyer mentor, where my dad and other experts walk us through everything we need to know to get onto the property ladder. So Dad, would you be able to walk us through how to find properties for under 500 grand?
Something that I want to point out, Nicola, not every area that you would find in this search is going to be somewhere that you would want to live. The purpose of this is not to find 50 amazing areas, but to find 1, 2, or maybe 3 that maybe you haven't considered that could be a good fit for you. I'm going to do this search twice, one for South Australia and one for Victoria. So let's get into it, Nicola. So first things, most people when they go to realestate.com, they just search for a suburb, look for properties and see if there's any properties in that suburb they're looking for. But a method which a lot of people don't know is that you can actually search by the state, first of all. So let's just type in South Australia. Then use the filters that realestate.com give you to narrow down these properties. Let's just go houses, townhouses, apartments and villas. So we've selected those properties there. Price bracket. On the maximum price, we did say we're going to try to find a house less than $500,000, but I want to put my search to 550 because there may be some properties that come up that might have a listing slightly higher than 500 that you might still be able to get below 500. So we're going to put 550 there. So bedrooms, I want to put minimum 2 bedrooms because if you
that'll be good for resale.
If you were to say 3, you're probably not going to get that many properties less than $500,000. Bathrooms, we're not going to worry about. Car spaces, let's just put 1+. We want at least 1 car park. Land size, we're not going to worry about. And we're going to go all types of properties. No other features here. That
all types of properties as in new or established?
New or established, correct, yep. So we've already narrowed down the types of properties we're going to look for. It's a house, townhouse, apartment, or a villa. So we're going to now search that criteria. So you can see here, it's given us 1,443 properties in South Australia with that search criteria, which is a lot of properties.
For maximum $550,000,
2 bedrooms, 1 garage, which is way too many for you to be able to go through. So we're now going to change that search. Rather than a list, we're going to change it to a map. So what we've got here is every property that came up under that criteria in South Australia. So you can see there's a lot of rural properties, regional properties here as well, which we're not going to worry about for now. We're going to focus on where we want to find a house, which is close to Adelaide. So let's just say we look at Adelaide eastern suburbs, for example. So let's just say that Adelaide's there. We'll keep zooming in. The search criteria will reduce the number of houses as we zoom in. So what were one of the tips that Peter Cleese told you when you're looking for a property?
Location, land and looks.
What about close to the city or close to the beach?
To sea.
So here we're looking at properties that are close to the city. So you might even change your search criteria to there's a city and you might just look at these properties around here. What this does as well, Nicola, is you might have previously just looked up a house or a unit in a suburb and searched by suburb only. And let's just say you put Norwood. If you look at Norwood here, there aren't any properties that fit that criteria in the Norwood area. But what you can do is you can see the surrounding suburbs, there are a few houses. So let's just click on this one, for example. Unit for sale, Evandale. You can open it up and then you can go through that property and find some more information about it. So that's another way of searching. So then you might look at,
close to the
city again, and you might look at properties that are near Unley. Again, in Unley, there's not much there. But you look at the suburbs that are close to Unley, so you can look at these properties here, compare them and see if any of those properties are suitable to your needs. So that's one way of searching and opening up the areas that you're looking for a house in by looking at it by map. It's very easy just to simply click on that property, look into it and then move to the next one. So do you think this tool is something that you'll be able to use going forward?
Yeah, definitely, because it would narrow down my options a lot and it would make it more clear where exactly the houses are.
Yep, very good. So let's jump over to Melbourne now because this same procedure, this same process will work anywhere in Australia. So let's just start again and go to realestate.com and let's just put here Victoria. We're then going to go back to the filters. We're going to go for house, townhouse, apartment, villa, price point. Again, we're going to go to 550.
2 bedrooms again?
2 bedrooms again. We're not going to worry about bathrooms, but we want 1 car park. So we're going to do 1 plus. Land size we're not going to worry about. All properties, nothing else in here that is beneficial to us. For the search criteria, we're going to go search.
Let's see how many compared to Adelaide.
8,300. So now let's just zoom in on this map in Victoria and let's go. Let's just choose St Kilda, Nicola, which is a suburb in Melbourne near the coast. And we're going to zoom in on that a little bit. So in this search criteria that we've done, there's 119 properties listed below 550 that suited our search criteria.
In St Kilda?
In St Kilda. So again, you can now click on them individually. You can see what they are. If they're of interest to you, you can then open them up and look into them in detail. So we've got 500 to 550. So that's within our price bracket. Let's look at it. And then you can go through it and read the ad, see if that suits your needs and go from there. The other thing to do as well in realestate.com is sign in and save them as your favourites. So you can create favourite lists of properties.
And can't they send you notifications when new properties have been listed?
And so you can set your criteria for them to send properties to you that meet your criteria as well. So use that tool as well, which is saving the properties that you are interested in and then be able to go back and reviewing them as well. And then also register yourself to get notifications too. So here's one here. Look at this, Nicola. 385.
Cheap.
Melbourne. What is it?
Probably a unit.
2-bedroom unit, price firm. So there are deals out there that below $400,000, that doesn't look too bad. So Nicola, when you're looking at an apartment, what are the key things that we've talked about before in episodes that you need to look for?
Strata fees.
Very good. You learned something, Nicola. So you read through the property, read more. Let's see what this. Okay, it even tells you what rent you're going to get in this property. That's $580 a week rent for a property. That's $365. That's pretty good. So strata fees is something that you'll need to look into on these type of properties. The next one, Nicola, let's just try. Very interested to see what's in Sydney.
Isn't that the most expensive place in the country?
We will maybe the highest average price, the highest medium price point, yes. But let's just have a look. Again, same search criteria. House, townhouse, apartment, villa. Now, New South Wales is quite a big state. Minimum price...
No, maximum.
Maximum price, we said 550. Minimum number of bedrooms, two. 1 car space. Don't worry about land, all types, search. So New South Wales, 3,931 properties.
So there was still more in Melbourne.
A lot more in Melbourne.
Because it might be a bit more affordable.
So now that I'm here, Nicola, what's my next step?
Click on the map instead of list.
Okay. There you go. And then?
Either try find sea or city.
So let's go close to the city of Sydney. And what's for sale there? Less than 500. So not much around there. But as you go out a bit, like this pocket here, for example, seems to be a fair few properties that are priced in that price bracket. Auction. Interesting auction, but see, it's still come up in our search criteria. So when a real estate agent lists a property, they've got to put down their expected sale price. So let's say they've put their expected sale price in within our search criteria of 550. So although it says auction and there's no price there, the search criteria that the real estate has put on the back end is in that range. 389, 548, just under. So that made our criteria there. You can see you can actually find properties within that price bracket of less than, or we've put 550, but to find a house less than 500,
there's been a few.
There's been a few there, definitely. So hopefully this helps you and also your listeners, Nicola, on how they can find properties on realestate.com within their search criteria of, say, $500,000.
Thanks, Dad. That was really good. I'm going to change the way I search on realestate.com because that looks a lot easier and gives you clear pinpoints to where the houses actually are in the desired areas.
Yeah, very good. And also just opens up your search criteria so you're not just looking at a specific suburb.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and let us know what you found using this method. I'm Nicola Kefalianos and we'll see you next week. Thank you.